Olá, welcome, Bem-vindo to episode 13 of Yarn Stories with Olivia, my channel here on YouTube where I talk about my love of knitting, crochet, and all things yarn. I am a lifetime yarn crafter and an equal opportunity yarn consumer. If this is your first time finding me, welcome in. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Today is Friday, November 29th, 2024. I am recording from the south coast of Massachusetts. It is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving here in the US. And I decided to record today a little sooner than I had planned. My last episode was a couple of weeks ago because December is right around the corner and I have a few things planned for December that I hope to capture here, record, or vlog. And I thought today would be a good opportunity to capture this. So where you can find me? You can find me as Olivia30 on Ravelry, where I'm pretty consistent with recording my projects, and as Olivia30M on Instagram, where I post my works in progress, my finished projects, and some life moments that I think are worthy capturing on my Instagram grid. So today I'm going to talk to you about an FFO, a finally finished object, for the purpose of having it recorded here as being fully finished. I have a FO, finished sock. I have a half, well, more than a half finished sock to show you. I have a couple of things from the archives to show you, one that I'm wearing and one that my friend Sylvia is wearing here. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And some future knitting plans that I'm hoping to do in December. And most of all, I want to show you some of the Avents that I got. My first time ever at getting Avents, so I'm super excited. And that's why I wanted to record today, because I do want to record opening up the Avents in December. So let's get started, shall we? Let's start with the FFO, the fully finished object. I'm going to show this to you briefly because we've talked about it in several episodes. And I just wanted to record it here as being completely finished and say that to my husband who watches these episodes, they are certainly more than ready for you to wear. He's been saving them for the right time, but I think it's time for him to start wearing them. It is the fully finished two pairs of socks. It's the fully finished socks for him. I thought he was going to wear them at Thanksgiving, which in our home is relatively quiet. It's just the four of us and my brother who comes with, is my brother and my sister-in-law and their two children come, so it's just 8 of us. It was a really quiet, relaxing day yesterday of eating and football and eating a little bit more and napping. My sister-in-law is a crafter, as I am. Right now she's on quilting, so she got to do her little quilting section yesterday that she's working on, and I got to work on socks. But he chose not to wear them yet. He says he's saving them for just the right time. I hope he wears them before Christmas because I have plans for him for Christmas. So those are done, not to be seen on the podcast again. What I have to show you as and I should say for those socks, if you're interested in knowing what they were or the details on them, I've got it all recorded on Ravelry. If you don't want to, if you're not going back and watching any of these episodes, I just didn't want to repeat myself again. What do I have as a half finished object, which I am loving, and it got a lot of love on Instagram as well? It's these socks that I'm making for the Socks for Sam campaign. I had one skein left of this Patton's Croy yarn, and it is in the colorway Clover, and it is deep, deep, deep stash. I haven't seen this colorway out there in a long time. And I have made several socks in this yarn, but ended up with one ball left. This pattern is a favorite of mine for socks. It is the Soybean socks. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's one that I've knit, I think the first time I knit it was in 2008, 2009. And I have used it with this yarn. So I thought, well, one skein left. This is a pattern that I remember how to knit easily. Let me do these. I knit these as I did with the last ones I showed you, the other Croy ones I showed you in the last episode. I used up every little bit of yarn that was in the ball, and it gave me a size 10 foot, 10 and a half, which I believe to be somewhat of an average size. If you're making a sock for a donation or for a charity, that's a good size to make. So here they are. So the soybean sock pattern. Let me tell you a little bit about that. It is 64 stitches. I do tend to knit all of my socks as a 64 stitch size with the 2.5 millimeter needle or US 2. It is the fabric texture that works for me for socks. It's what my boys like to wear, and it's implanted in my head on this is the formula that I have for socks. 64 stitches, size 2.5 millimeter needles, size 2 US, and it is the soybean socks. I forgot to put down who they're by. Well, there'll be a no one here what they are. So, the socks. As the campaign Socks for Sam is about mismatched socks for young Sam who enjoys wearing mismatched socks, I decided that I was going to make another soybean sock to accompany that one. So they'll be mismatched, but, I'm all tangled up here, but it's the same pattern. And this is what it looks like in a solid color. I worked on it yesterday. I had cast on a couple of days ago. It was up to here, the stitch marker. And this was my Thanksgiving knit project as we watched football. So I was down here yesterday, and I'll put a picture up of what we were doing. My sister-in-law on the couch, my guys watching football, and I was knitting away. I got this cute little stitch marker, which is a camper. It's turned around. It's a cute little, doesn't want to turn around. It's a little camper. I think I picked this up at Michael's. And I worked on here, the heel turn. And this morning, after all of the cleanup was done, I managed to get this much done. I had planned to finish it before showing it on the podcast, thinking that, might as well if I'm going to work on it. But because it is the Northeast, and by 4:30, it's relatively dusk here, and 5 p.m. will definitely be dark, I didn't want to take a chance to finish it because I did want to record today. And it is now about 1:30 and the sun is just about right. And I thought now's a good time for me to record up here in my room because the window right here is giving me just the right amount of sunlight for recording. So, soybean socks in Patton's Croy FX. No, this one is just, it is just Patton's Croy socks. The clover was the FX. And this is what I've got left. And I have one more repeat on the pattern, and then I'll be doing the toes. Now, the pattern, as I started to say earlier, lost my track of thought on the pattern. It's a free pattern, super easy pattern, 64 stitches. It is about 4 pages to print out. If you already are comfortable with knitting socks and you know your 64 stitch repeat, all you really need for this pattern is the chart. And the chart for these, it is a 10 row repeat, and that is the chart. And this is all that I keep in my sock bag, which I didn't bring any of my bags up here. I just grabbed what I had on this as I was working on it. This is what I have in the bag with this. And yeah, that's it. 10 row repeat. And just the right amount of knitting that keeps you going and gets the sock done fast, because you do the 10 rows, you finish it, and you just want to do another 10, and you want to do another 10. So before you know it, you've got, you know, that's why it was so fast to do the cuff. Put it this way. I can show you better. Let me put this. So there is the stitch pattern. And I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 for the leg. The heel is a slip knit heel that I always do. And then I've got the gusset. And then I picked up right where I left off here. And I'm going to do, I believe it's 8 repeats to get to the size 10. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, one more repeat and these will be done. So I'll be sending these in mismatched, but the same pattern. And as you can see, this pattern works really well with a busier color yarn or with a solid yarn. Your choice. I've done it in various yarns and it always comes out beautiful. So the speckled yarns, it looks great. In self-striping yarn, it looks great. But in the solid yarn, it really stands out. So soybean socks, highly recommend this pattern. Free pattern on Ravelry, works up super quick, makes a great gift. So that's my, if I did a knit and chat little segment on here, I'd be knitting on this while I'm talking to you, but I don't know if I can manage that. So that is that project. To be finished by tonight, it'll be finished. So let's talk about what I'm wearing and what my friend Sylvia here is wearing as part of Storytime. Last episode, I talked about these cowls. I talked about how I've been making many of them as gifts or as something that's regular inventory for me for the scholarship craft shows. I decided to hold on to a green one for me. I wanted you to see how it looked being worn. It is a little chilly here today, outside, not in my house, but because I'm sitting near a large picture window, it was a little cool. And I was debating whether or not I should get one of my knit garments to put on, and I thought, no, I'm gonna wear this so that you could see what it looks like being worn. So here's the cowl in the Premier yarn, and I have it over my shoulders to keep my shoulders warm. And if I wanted to wear it with a jacket, it just bunches up in here and I get all of the warmth, can put on my jacket. And if it is really chilly, it has enough of a cowl in the back that you can wear it as a snood. Look, how cute is that? I'm all ready to go outside in the cold. But yeah, this is a favorite of mine to make as gifts, to give, to work on for the craft shows. And here, let me fix myself back up here. So it is the Cowl Chic Cowl Neck Poncho, a free pattern through Red Heart. I talked about this in the last episode. I do have all the information there on the yarn I use and some of the modifications that I made to make this pattern work the way I wear it now. It is a poncho, so it is the pattern. If you follow the pattern, you'll end up with a much larger poncho. I wanted it to be something that would just fit over the shoulders, that I could wear with a sweater, and here it is. And I do have a little bit of disclaimer. I said that I have made possibly about 500 of them. I way overestimated. I think it was more like 368 when I looked at my book where I log all of my makes, which is something I'll have to bring up here next time and talk about, because I do keep a journal of all of the makes. So I do record my makes on Ravelry, but I don't record how many of each I've made if I'm doing the craft shows, because I'm not going to be posting on my Ravelry feed 6 different versions of this. And because I've made these in about 10 different colors, I just keep a count of how many I've made. We'll show you that the next time. So that's what this is. So it's Premier Yarns, and I can't remember the color, but I did talk about this in the last episode. So all of that, if you go see the last episode, you'll see the yarn. So I don't know if that's going to be archives or what am I wearing. We'll see how it lines up. Now, for a story time session, I want to talk about what's over here right behind me. So this is my mannequin, Sylvia. She does accompany me to the craft shows where I display some of the makes and how I would wear them. She has a black dress, a short sleeve black dress on, but since I felt that these cowls that I'm making didn't look as nice in the black dress, I gave her a sweater or a cardigan that I had made a while ago. And I'll talk to you about the cardigan in a minute. But first I'm going to talk to you about these cowls. Every year when I do the craft shows, I have people who come to find my table and ask, well, what did you make new this year? I've had stuff where I've made it, retired it, such as the Ollie hats, and then I've brought it back by popular demand, which have been really popular again this year. I've been making these for a while. I do get return customers who want to see what colors I now have made, but I felt like I needed to, every year I feel like I need to add something different. So for last year, I tested out this cowl. I had only made 3 or 4 of them last year, and they went. So for this year, I've been spending some time making these. And in the 3 shows that I've made, and they've been selling pretty well. In fact, I have to get cranking on making a few more. What this is, and I'll bring Sylvia a little closer. So this is a crochet cowl in 2 different color yarns. And it's made with a stacked stitch. So the pattern for this on Ravelry is the Mountain Trail Cowl by Tania Bush. Oh, the glare's there, but that's what it looks like, and I'll link it below. And her pattern is a $3.99 pattern on Ravelry, or it's available free if you visit the pattern website. If you are a crocheter, an advanced crocheter, you'll be able to understand the pattern quite easily. If you are just starting out, I highly recommend that you buy the pattern. $3.99 is a fair amount for what you get with the pattern. In the pattern, she uses the same yarn but different colors. I chose to go with a solid and a highly variegated yarn to make these cowls. Let me show you an example that Sylvia's not wearing. So here's one where I used a cream or a beige as the solid, and I had this yarn, this variegated yarn, which is Lion brand Ferris wheel. So you alternate 1 row of the solid, 2 rows of the solid, and 2 rows of the color. So this is quite autumnal, this color. And I've made them from this kind of traditional colors to something very bright, such as this one, in these colors. So it's a very primary rainbow shade on these. So little very stained glassy colors For this one, what I use is a size G or I hook. I had this Hobby Amigo yarn. Yeah, I'm not sure what colorway this is. I had a bag full of these. A beige color. It's just color 3. And I used this for the shade. This is Loops and Threads colors. It is 100% acrylic. It is a full weight. And this one is in the color Jungle Camouflage. And there's the color of it. So it was really, these together worked out really nicely. And I will take it off so you could see it up close. And you can wear it, as I showed you, it's all the, up to the top, or fold it down to wear it around the neck with a piece. So these have been, as I said, they've been popular, and I enjoy making them. For me to make things that are for the craft shows, it has to be something that I enjoy wearing, first of all, or something that I enjoy making, because making them on repeat can be a little bit tedious. And that's why I make them in the different colors, because if I'm making them in different colors, it feels like something new every time. Oh, this one was a nice shade as well. Now, let's talk about what Sylvia's wearing. This is the Storytime session. This is the Storytime section. This is, so I every time I doubt my knitting ability, I should remember to go back to look at my first pieces that I knit. I had more compliments on this cardigan on the mannequin than I did on anything else on the table. I had so many people ask me if I would make them one of these. And I thought, heck no, no. This is one of the first pieces that I did, and it was a nightmare to do this piece. And I'd forgotten I had it. It was in the bottom of my, of a bin where I keep stuff that I made early on. And the reason why I thought of it for the mannequin, it's because it is a smaller cardigan that I wear now. I did make it so that it did fit me. It no longer fits me, but I can't bear to part with it because it was one of the first things that I made as a garment. It was the first garment that I made, full of mistakes. And I did this as so it's pieced, first of all. It's not as I'm used to doing it now. It had to all be pieced. It is a basket weave pattern, and I'll post some pictures here as I'm talking about it, because I have quite a bit of pictures on this item on Ravelry. And I don't know if the camera will pick up. Yeah, I think the camera will pick up. I used Patton's North America Classic Wool Merino. The name of the pattern is number 23, Fly Away Cardi by Jean Suzuki. I was such a novice knitter that I didn't even know how to look for dye lots. So the body of the sweater is one dye lot. And as you can see, the trim is a different dye lot. But I made it work. It almost looks intentional. I put on a snazzy button, and let me take it off of her so you can see. So she'll be with just her dress, her short sleeve dress. I'll put it to the side there. And yeah, this is the pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. but it was seamed. And my seams are not perfect by any means. Up close, I can see so many mistakes. But what impresses me about it now is that I figured out how to do an A-line shaping to it. Because the pattern did not give the best instructions. So there's an A-line shaping to it, if you can see it. So there's 5 projects. Let me see. So this is what the pattern looks like on Ravelry. Yep, this way. Yeah. There is a whopping 5 projects. This was in 2010 that I did that piece. And of the 5 projects, I'm there. And one other person frogged it. Another one has the same exact notes I have about how frustrating it was to make this piece. And someone else just says they've done it, but they posted it, and one other person put, "This is such an ugly sweater. I'll never wear it." And so I'm not recommending the pattern to you. I just wanted to share with you the story behind it and why I had a good laugh with everybody asking me if I would make them one, because I just remember being so frustrated with it and picking up the stitches for the collar, and it had me picking up more stitches than what was in the body, and how it was very frilly on the collar. But somehow, I don't know how I did it, but somehow I made it work. And I made it come out looking half decent. And I did wear it, and it looked really, really good on me when I wore it. But I think I only wore it a couple of times. And yeah, there's no way this would fit me now. But it gave me this opportunity to say, "You did all right, kid. You did all right." Seaming it, you managed to do it. Because now when I see a project that involves assembling it, I don't want to touch it. But yeah, as a novice knitter, if I managed to get this done and it got all of those compliments, granted, a lot of the people, they don't know what goes into knitting. They just look at the finished project and they think, "Oh, that's great. You know, that looks easy to make," or "You made that easily," or whatever their minds are thinking. But if I did this, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be too afraid. I shouldn't be too afraid to test myself with other garments that require assembly. Because goodness gracious, it was really badly attached. The sleeves to the body. So I'll put Sylvia back there. So that's the story of that, and the story of these cowls that I'm making. And yeah, and that's if I haven't said it already, that's a pattern that I do recommend. So what will we talk about next? Let's see. So I want to talk about something that I'm super excited about, but I haven't heard yet. I'm waiting. I thought I would have heard before I started to record, which is I signed up for the new Isabel Kramer test knit, the Christmas bell. Last episode, I had talked about doing something with the fiber seed yarn that I purchased. I was thinking of doing the Jen Steingass top. And with this yarn, which is Sooty Suit, it's a fiber seed sprout sock. I had picked up this yarn at Fiber Festival in New England. And once I saw the test call, I was drawn to it. And I could see this yarn being used for that sweater. So I did put in my name to be a tester. I thought I would have heard by now. I was told that by Friday I would hear if I'd been selected. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't heard yet. So there's a good chance that I I didn't make the cutoff. I didn't make the group. But if I didn't, either way, I think I'm going to save this yarn for that top. Because along with this, for the color work, I have options of a gray. Look at this, 3 different types of gray, like a creamy, dusty gray. I have, so this is Sooty Suit. So I thought this would work well with it for the color work. It is, this is the Hawthorne Fingering Stroll. I should do this, right? This is the Fingering Stroll, similar to what I've got here. So that'll go back there. I have this, another the Herd of Cats Road Trip sock yarn in this colorway. This I bought at Rhinebeck last year. This one is in the colorway for this little guy. This was pre-Gary, so maybe I was already thinking I was going to end up with a little gray tiger. And I also have this Madeline Tosh in Farmhouse White, and it's looking a little creamy, at least the way I'm looking at it. It's probably going to record differently, but I thought this Farmhouse White with this would be beautiful for a Christmas color sweater. And look at that. Well, does this look Christmassy or what? Got her in the back. I should. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up getting in. If I do, I'll talk about it on Instagram. So that's the plans for that yarn. I just as a follow-up to what I put on the recording last month. The other thing that I'm super excited about is this is my first year where I bought myself Advents. I've never done it. I've gotten Advents for my boys. I've gotten Advents for my husband. This year I decided that I was going to treat myself, and I decided to go with an Advent that wasn't fiber related. Well, it is fiber related, but it's not fiber. I went with the Advent, Stitch Markers Advent, which it just arrived, well, about 2 weeks ago. It is by Kraftiara Markers. There it goes. It's by Kraftiara Markers, and she is from she is Victoria, and she's from Zurich. I think I said that right. That's a tough one for me to say. So Kraftiara Markers, Victoria from Zurich, and it is a 24-day Advent of markers, and I haven't completely opened it yet. It came with 2 bags of tea, lovely cards with a message from Kraftiara. Nice little Christmas card, and it is packaged beautifully. I'm so excited. I'm feeling like a kid. And this is the Advent calendar for 2024. The way it's boxed up, it's so pretty. And I chose to do the Surprise Me, which will be 12 Progress Keepers and 12 stitch markers. So it'll be 24 stitch markers that I'll be opening daily. So that's my first ever Advent. I'm super excited about it. And I had no plans to get a yarn Advent because I really don't need more yarn. But I couldn't resist this one. It was one from Ellie at Craft House Magic. And here it is, Royal Mail. And It is her, this one just arrived a couple of days ago. So I haven't opened it yet. I just have to rip it open. Let's see. Of course. Oh, it's a good thing I don't have big nails. Here is my first yarn advent, and I have been a fan of Ellie's yarn since 2010. I've gotten quite a bit of her yarn over time, but I had taken a break because I have so much of it, but I was looking forward to this one. So I got her Frostbites 12-day advent, and she always packs a little gift in her packaging. Yeah, undyed yarn mini to use in the cowl designs for the snowflake. So there's, and so here is the card. It comes with a cute little project bag, and all of it labeled. So yeah, got day one. So they come up wrapped really nicely. So I am looking forward to this. I've seen so many people open their advents. I've seen so many beautiful colorways that people have put together in advents, and I never thought it would be something that I would treat myself to, but this year I decided that yes, I'm going to, and that is my hope, is for the next few days as I open these up, to record them, do like just a little mini sewed up something, record as I'm opening these, so that I can have that for the future of my excitement of opening my first advent. So those are my two advents, and what I've got left to talk about. So for my future knitting plans, besides possibly the test knit, doing something with the advents that are coming in, I do have to get cracking on the Christmas socks for the son and for the husband now. And this is what I'm planning to do for them. I had picked up this yarn at Wicked Good Yarns, formerly of Braintree, Massachusetts. I believe she has moved. I picked this up from her shop back in March. When we were on our way to a knitting retreat, we stopped at her shop to pick up supplies. We had supplies, but we always like to go and do a little bit more purchasing. So I had picked up from her this biscuit sock yarn in the Patriots colorway. So we are in Massachusetts. The Patriots football team is a big deal in our house. Not for me, I could care less, but for the husband and the son. So when I saw the yarn, I thought, oh yeah, self-striping yarn in New England Patriots colorway. These will make a perfect sock for him. It is an 85-15 yarn, I believe. Yeah, 85 merino and 50 nylon. And it is 435 yards. So it'll give me a sock for them and still have some left over. And I was going to pair it with this navy for the heel, for the cuff, heels, and toes. But then as I was leaving, she had one more, and I figured I'd pick up the two. That way it's going to ensure that I can make 2 pairs of socks, and possibly even I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make a third. And then all 3 of us will have a pair of socks, because in this house, 3 out of 4 do enjoy wearing hand knit socks. Only my older son is not a fan. He has his own type of socks that he likes to wear. And yeah, so that's going to be kicked up and start to be worked on pretty soon as my December knitting. And I think that's everything. That's all I've got. I have not started the All About the Brioche by Lisa Haynes for the Make Along, which ends December 31st. It is for the Badass Brioche Mal. I was going to participate in it, and I still might. It is a Needles at the Ready knit along with Skein Yarn Shop. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. My last craft show is going to be December 7th. And after that, it's going to be all about knitting for me and gifts. Yes, I do knit gifts during December. It's part of the joy for me, is making something that I know I'm going to gift at the end. I don't do much gift knitting. For my guys, I will make something, and it's rare that I'm not one to make for multiple people. I tend to make throughout the year and gift it throughout the year as I make it. But for Christmas knitting this year, it is making the socks for them, hopefully a Christmas sweater for me, or something with the yarn events. So that's pretty much it. So if you stayed with me until now, thank you for being here with me. Muito obrigada por ter assistido este episódio. E até a próxima. Until next time. Well, here I am, Olivia from the future. I'm in my craft room in my basement, and I didn't get chosen to be a test knitter for the Christmas bell for Isabel Kramer. A little disappointed, but she has so many lovely testers to choose from. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it works out. And when the pattern's available, I do plan to purchase it so I can knit it. But something else happened that was worthy of me coming on here and doing a little recording, which was surprisingly, as we were cleaning up from dinner tonight around 5 o'clock, we heard the mail truck, and my son went outside to the mail thinking it was something that he was waiting for, and it wasn't. It was something for me. And this arrived, and this is a package that came to me from Portugal, and it is a package from Manuela, my friend in Oporto that I met through Instagram and through this knitting community. And we've become fast friends. And I can't believe she spent the money to send me this. So we're going to open it together because I'm so excited to see what she sent. She shouldn't have, because it was a costly shipping amount. She sent me yarn. Look at this. This is Rosario's 4 yarn. I cannot believe she did this. It's Rosario's 4 meia. We don't get this here in the US. It's sock yarn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. 1, 2. Look at this color. Look how beautiful that is. So she sent me 2 of each. Look at that. This is a 70% merino lin, so wool, and 30% polyamide. So Oh my goodness. Oh, those are going to look so nice in the combinations. I can just see. And this one is Kashiku. And look at that. Look at that color of yarn. It is Kashiku Core 19, so color 19. And this one is 25% lin, 25% wool, 25% alpaca, 50% acrylic, 100 grams. And there's 2 of them. And she sent me, of course, one of her little pieces with, oh, it smells so good. One of her little hearts with potpourri in it. Oh, she didn't. Oh, I can't. Yeah. You are crazy. When all of the expense you had. Oh. Oh, she didn't. She sent me the kit. She kitted up the cowl, the framed cowl by Andrea Mowry. This is the yarn she used to make hers, so she bought me. It's Au Bébé Tricot Brincal, so it's a baby yarn, baby white yarn. So there's 2 in the green and 2 in the gray. And she's included the pattern with a note. I love her handwriting. This is the yarn I've used in my cowl. The shop didn't have the white color, so I chose these ones. Hope you like it. Follow instructions for the sport version. And I didn't catch any floats because you work in a tube, so it doesn't matter. This is fantastic. I can't believe it. I told her I was planning to make one, but I hadn't gotten around to it yet. Now I'm going to make it with yarn from Portugal. And what else did she put in here? She put in a project bag. Look at this. Look at this bag. Look how beautiful. So it's one of those that I can put on my wrist, one of my favorites for traveling. And it cinches up so I can take it with me when I'm walking around playing tourist. And it's filled with little gadgets. Oh, goodness. It's got a soap. Oh, it smells so good. I can't even... I just... More barber cords. Oops. Barber cords. And the cutest little stitch markers. A sheep, 2 sheep, and a cute little house. It's a beautiful bookmark with the windows that you can find in the city of Oporto. Look how beautiful that is. I'm got my new favorite bookmark. Oh my goodness. This is gorgeous. I'm overwhelmed. This is just, what a beautiful gift, and the expense that she had to send me this. I can't believe she did this. It's just, I can't wait. So in this bag, I'm gonna put these. I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be my Christmas cast on now. If I'm not doing the sweater, I'm definitely gonna be doing the framed cowl with the yarn that she sent me. And I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I don't know what I'm gonna start with first. Manuela, tu és um amor. Não sei como agradecer. Muito obrigada. A nossa amizade tem um valor muito grande para mim. E a gente vai se encontrar mais uma vez em pessoa. O Natal chegou cedo aqui na minha casa. Muito obrigada. Christmas arrived early at my house. Thank you. All right, well, I'll either put this at the end or I'll put this somewhere. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Ciao.